thing I want to talk about before we go on to the many subjects that we always love to cover is, some shocking news about these two crashes that happened. Shocking that the pilot for the Ethiopian airline been confirmed that he followed the exact procedure from Boeing, and they still couldn't get the nose from crashing and murdering all those people. Now, as the truth, no matter what religion you are, sooner or later comes up. They're beginning to say that they rushed this plane, they all knew that there was a problem with it, and they still kept them in the air. And they're saying that the Lion Airline crash was identical, and they believe that it was catastrophic because of the software defect. I hate the fucking word glitch. It's a software defect.
Yeah, and Frank, you're absolutely right, but there are literally hundreds of them flying very safely.
They were flying.
Yeah, but the two that have gone down have had pilot interference. Not pilot error.
The two that went down did not have pilot interference until the pilot had to try to disengage. And there's multitude of stories now from pilots that saw near-death experience with this plane, with the 737
I haven't heard those.
MAX.
Yeah. Oh. Well, if that's the case, then we don't have any story. It's Boeing's baby, and they got to look after it.
No, I think that somebody's got to go to is going to go to jail.
Someone's got to be held accountable. You're right. You're right.
Boeing knew that there was a catastrophic chance of a plane crashing to the earth, murdering everybody on there, and they took the law of mathematics, like the bean counters do, that did with the GM problem, where it was a minuscule amount of money to get it fixed, but they figured, to get all the cars recalled and stuff, and people were dying. Their steering would shut down while they were driving.
Yeah. No,
it sounds like they had a lot of orders, Frank, and they had to fill them quickly.
Well, the story is that Airbus had a brand new jet, a brand new state-of-the-art jet from the ground up. And what they did is they did not have one, so to go against Airbus. And Airbus was going to get most of the contracts. So they took an old plane that has been successful for them, a 737, and they retrofitted it with new motors to make it as fuel efficient as the Airbus. But these motors were completely different because they were retrofitted on a body that was not designed aerodynamically to handle these motors. So these motors were placed a little higher. So what they did is they put this software in that if the nose was going a little higher than it should be, it would adjust it. It would compensate for that. But what the software was doing was pushing the nose too much down. And the story, I think I said this on NSS, came from an airline pilot from Qantas, where he was a former military pilot, very smart guy and very well trained. So the plane was at 37,000 feet cruising. Everything was great. People were all eating, walking in the cabin. He went to get a coffee. The nose of the plane was 40 degrees above the horizon, which is where it's supposed to be. But the computer thought that the nose was 90 degrees above the horizon, and it started to, in autopilot, make the change. And so that means if it was going to go 50 degrees down, spiraling down, it dropped over 10,000 feet in one shot. People went flying through the cabin, and everything fell, and people got hurt. And if it wasn't that this pilot disengaged the autopilot and did what he had to do, they would all died. So these are the stories that are all coming up now, and that the pilots were supposed to not share, but they're sharing. And apparently Boeing had an incredible connection with the FAA, and they were not policed by them. The FAA, Federal Aviation Association, allowed them to police themselves, which, is not always a good thing, though.
No.
So the regulators are saying that the people are saying that the regulators are also liable for these two planes going down, leaving them in the air. You know, you can't have a plane flying 120, 130 people with a chance of it crashing.